Welcome back everyone, thanks for joining me for another beer related video. As you can see, I'm out in the Garden of Dreams, the Harlequin. So I do apologise about the traffic as well going past. We do live in a little busy close, so we do get a bit of traffic around here. So if you've seen the title, which no doubt you probably have seen the title, you'll know what this video is about. And it's basically me giving my top 10 blade kegs, in my opinion, for different reasons. Some of them are, but generally they will be my sort of top 10 kegs for this system. A subscriber, Richard Brown, commented on one of my videos the other day and he said, oh, it'd be interesting to see or hear your views. What are your, top 10 blade kegs that you can pick up, or would you list them all in order? So I had a little think this morning, decided to look at all the kegs and see what kegs I think are maybe some of the best beers, some of the kegs that I order regular, some of the kegs that are really drinkable. But this is just my opinion, so obviously I know there's going to be a lot of kegs that I mention here that a lot of you aren't going to necessarily agree with. I've got my little list here as well, just in case I remember. So a big thank you to Richard for mentioning this, because it's a good idea, and I suppose I've probably thought about it in the past but never got around to doing it. So I'm currently drinking a Zipfer that's gone a little bit flat, to be honest, just because the glass probably needed rinsing again. I've had 2 or 3 pints out of it, and like any beer, once dirty glass again, isn't it? Once you've got beer in there, it sort of dies down a bit. So let's have a quick slurp of that, give it a swill. Yeah, Zipper, really nice, one of my favourites, I've got to admit. So my top 10 blade kegs. Now what I've done, Radler's out of stock at the moment, but initially when it's not released this time, it was sort of released a year or 2 ago along with Brand IPA and Affligem Triple, but they were all short dated and they was only available for sale for about a month until the short date ones went, and then they disappeared. So what I haven't done, Radler I have taken into account, but I haven't taken into account the Affligem Triple or the Brand IPA. So as of the 8th of July 2022, the kegs that were available are what my opinions are based on. I haven't tried the new cider, although basically it's the same as a Apfelrauber, but I think it's just a British one using different apples and whatever. Yet the bloody thing's going off again, that's doing my head in. So yeah, I haven't tried that as of yet, but I've tried every other keg that's available. So let's get cracking on what my top 10 blade kegs are. And what I'm going to do first, my absolute hated sort of kegs on this system, and coming in last of all was Sol. Absolute bag of shite in my opinion. Even on my initial video I think I was being very generous to it. As I had a couple more, it was just absolute terrible beer. And personally there's no way I would pick that up again. I thought it was shocking, which is a shame because I actually quite liked it on the sub going back a couple of years. And my other keg that I really couldn't stand was Amstel, the British brewed Amstel at 4.1%. Again, another really shocking keg in my opinion. So yeah, so there's my opinion on probably the worst couple of kegs on the machine. Now there's officially about 24, 25. I'm thinking that the Radler, Amstel Radler, is currently just out of stock, but there's actually that one and 24 other beers on Beerwulf's website. So the first, I would say the top 6 beers for me were quite simple, and then there was 4 others that I had to pick from. And like I say, these I would say the bottom 4 come in for all sorts of different reasons maybe, but I've picked them because of this. Now the bottom 4 are quite hard to put in any sort of order. I'd like to think the top 6 are somewhere there. So coming in at number 10 for me is the Heineken 0%. Now you're probably thinking, fucking hell, but it's a 0% beer. Yeah, and I've picked that because it is a 0% beer, and it's actually pretty decent. I think I reviewed it and I thought it was pretty decent, and I would happily pick that up again if I wanted a 0% beer. For me, yeah, it was thin, but it resembled a beer. You still had a little bit of that sort of Heineken sort of taste to it, and that it resembled a beer. And the fact that it's, you know, non-alcoholic, it gives you another option. So at number 10 for me was Heineken. Number 9, I'm putting in the Austrian Puntigama. Now I know this is a big favourite to some people. Excuse me, I've got a little bit of itchy nose. A big favourite to some people. When I first reviewed it, I thought it was alright. I thought it was a little bit average. The second keg I had of it, I actually really enjoyed it a bit more. But I've put it in at number 9 because there are other lagers above this, in my opinion. So it's sort of lower down, not necessarily because it's worse than other beers that I've got above it, but because it's probably out of the top 10 of beers that I've got, out of the lagers I've got in my top 10, it's, for me, it's the worst one. So Puntigama comes in at number 9. Coming in at number 8, you might be surprised at this, but I've actually put Strongbow Dark Fruits, and I know a lot of you out there will probably say, what the hell have you put that in for? Strongbow, it's a shit beer, or cider. Well, ultimately I wanted to put a cider in there. We've now got 3 on the system, and I like the Apfelrauber. Obviously, as I've said at the start of the video, I haven't sort of tried the New Orchard Thieves one. That's coming tomorrow, so once the keg that I've got in at the moment is gone, I will put that in. So I have to hold judgment on that one. But Strongbow, I've put it in there, 1 because it's a cider, and 2 because, Jesus Christ, it was so drinkable. It really was. I got through that keg in no time. I'd done over half a keg in a night, as well as 3 other beers that I had beforehand. Found it really drinkable, nice and refreshing, tasty, and a damn sight better than the can. So that's why I've put Strongbow in there as well, because of it being something different and the fact that it was so drinkable. Coming in at number 7, we've got Vienna Lager, or Wiener Lager, or Wiener Lager, which is a Vienna Lager. It's an Austrian beer. It's a darker lager. Now, again, I've put this in because it is something different, but it was really decent. Again, it's probably going to be one of them that a lot of people don't like, but I do like a Vienna Lager. The wind's getting up now, so I have to hold my bit of paper. I do like a Vienna Lager, and again, it makes a nice change. A really nice flavour to it. It done the style justice, and for me, for something that you want to have a bit of a change of, that's why I've put the Vienna Lager in there, or Wiener Lager, Wiener Lager, however you want to say it. So we're in the top 6 now of my favourite beers on the blade. Now these top 6, there's a couple of them that I've only actually had 1 keg of, believe it or not, but because I do reviews and everything, I don't always repeat buy, but when new kegs come out, I pick something up just to bump the order up, because as you know, you need to buy 2 kegs or something. So coming in at number 6, and I would say this top 6 is probably how I would rate the beers in my opinion. Coming in at number 6 is the original Heineken, coming in at 5%. I got that when I first bought the machine. I thought it was really decent. It's a decent Euro lager, if you like. Really drinkable, nice flavour, a different kettle of fish to the can, and certainly better than some of the English brew. Well, this is English brewed as it happens, but I know you can get 4% Heineken, but this is the 5% one, and I actually found it really decent, really drinkable, and it obviously prices have gone up, but it's one of the cheaper lagers as well, so I think it's really good value. It's a really decent pint, and that's why it's at number 6 for me. Coming in at number 5 is another Austrian one, and it's Gosser Marzen. Now the Marzen, again, maybe not up there with German Marzens, but again, really drinkable, got some great flavours, quite a decent, you know, we've got a cat coming to see us now, as you can see just in the corner there. Yes, you've come to see us. You sit there, cat. Sit there, thank you. Right. Yes, come here. Come here. if I hold you like this, she'll sit here now. Right, like I said, number 5, Gossamarsen, Austrian, 5.2%. Yeah, it's maybe not quite up there with the German stuff, but it's a really good effort. Really tasty, really drinkable, quite a reasonable price. I think it's about $34.99 now. Could have gone up maybe, but yeah, it's another really drinkable lager, and for me that's coming in at number 5. Number 4, we've got a different style, but I really enjoyed this as well, and this was Edelweiss. I haven't put it down properly. I'll put Eled. Edelweiss Hefetra, not the blue one, the one with the silver wrapper. That's 5.3%. It was the first release one, more like a German sort of Weizen. Really enjoyable again, decent percentage, and something a little bit different. And I like a good Weizen, and for me that is as good as pretty much anything on the blade for me. So yeah, that's in at number 4. Number 3, and although you may not like the look of it, looking at it like that, like I said, a clean glass would soon sort that, because my first one looked absolutely amazing, is Zipfer. There you go, got the Zipfer glass. For me, Zipfer is the best lager on the blade. Absolute cracking beer. 5.1% if I remember rightly, or is it 5.3? 5.3 maybe. Absolutely drinkable as shit. A proper beer for me. That is a proper beer, hoppy, spicy, everything. It's about, price has gone up, I think it's about $34.99 now, and a belting beer. And that's what I've liked about the blade. They brought some Austrian beers onto the system, or there's you know, I wouldn't say they've just brought it on because it's Austrian, but they've brought some of these beers on that are Austrian. It's beers that you don't see very often, and I've been really impressed with them. So Zipfer for me is certainly, you know, it's certainly the top lager, and probably fair enough, I would say, it being at number 3. Number 2 for me is Lagunitas IPA, 6.2%. Excuse me, it's a £40 keg, yeah, but absolutely belting. Obviously, if you don't like your IPAs, this isn't going to be up there for you, but I like a decent IPA. Lots of flavour, it's got some balls about it, and it's just a decent drop. And if I think rightly, there isn't too many IPAs on the blade. You get a couple of pale ales, and there has been the odd IPA before. Like I said, brand IPA, that was very decent, bit boozy, but that isn't a general release, that was a one-off. So for me, Lagunitas, again, like I say, it's just a cracking IPA, and to have it on the blade is brilliant. And for me, it's one of the best beers on there. So we are down to number 1 now. You're probably wondering what my number 1 beer is on the blade. Zipfer, I've had a few. Lagunitas, I've only had 1 keg, but I do have another keg in my shed over there, so that'll be loaded up at some point. But my number 1 keg is actually a keg that I've only actually had 1 keg of, and I don't have it in stock. But I've picked this because I think it is the best beer on the blade. If we're looking at like brewing quality, I think this is the best beer on the blade. It's up there with Duvel, if not better. It's certainly along the Duvel style. I know the PD brought out Victoria, and they were saying it's a Duvel kind of thing. That personally didn't do it for me. For me, I think this one, having it on the blade, actually beat Duvel. And it's Hapkin. Like I said, only had 1 keg of it. For me, it's the best brewed beer on the blade. It's a big hitting one, it's 8.5%. It's almost the most expensive. It's gone up from $42.99 to $45.99, so it is expensive. But it's a beer that you drink in 3 30ml glasses, so you're going to get 24 out the machine. Are you going to get a 330ml glass of a 8.5% beer for £2? You're not, are you? And you know, even if you're getting 24 of them, it's coming in at 48 quid, so it's still coming in dearer than the keg. So for me, Hapkin was an absolute belter. Reminded me a lot like Duvel, but I actually thought it was nicer. So yeah, that's my top 10 beers. Hapkins at number 1, Heineken 0% at number 10. The hated ones that I've done are Sol and Amstel. So feel free to comment. Hope you've enjoyed this video. No doubt there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to give me shit for this, that and the other. We all have our own taste and we all have our personal favourites. There are a lot of other decent beers on there. I think it was the Brixton one that was out for a little while. There was one released for a little while that I really enjoyed, but again, that sort of come out and went. The 4 Pure one come and went, which I wasn't so keen on. Most of the beers are pretty, you know, they're all right. How can I put it? You know, they're not really sort of shocking, but most of the beers are all right. But this is my personal sort of top 10. So like I say, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Enjoy your Friday now, because the sun's still out here. Hopefully it's out where you are. Thank you all for watching. Feel free to subscribe and stay tuned, because I will be doing a top 10 perfect draft one. So I know a lot of you blade owners won't be interested in that unless you own a PD, but yeah, look out for that one. Thank you all for watching. Feel free to subscribe, and I will see you again soon on another beer review.